Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Nacy Ty Ryerson, and this is Intro into Social Emotional Learning, or SEL for short, which you will hear a lot today. So I don't have to say that word over and over and over. We'll say SEL for short throughout the presentation. So we're going to embark on the exploration of why SEL is so crucial and what it truly signifies, and practical methods to seamlessly incorporate it into your classrooms. So I hope you're ready for an engaging, insightful session where I hope that we can unpack the significance of fostering emotional intelligence and building positive relationships in your educational settings wherever you are in the state. So as we journey through this exploration together, feel free to pause, feel free to take notes. Make sure to allow yourself time to fully immerse yourself in this valuable learning experience. If you want to pause and kind of, do your own research and deep dive, feel free to do so. That's something that I enjoy doing. So do what you need to do to get the most out of this course. And remember that this is virtual. So I do know that this is solitary. We're on the other sides of the computers from each other, but we do have a shared commitment to understanding and implementing SEL, and that does unite us. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So I want you to dive in with enthusiasm, curiosity, and hopefully a zest for learning. So I hope you can relax and sit back and learn about the transformative power that SEL really does have in your classrooms. So like I said, this might be a one-way presentation, but let's infuse it with energy and passion and the spirit of collaboration, even though that we can transcend physical boundaries that way. So together, let's make this journey both educational and enjoyable. I thank you for joining me, and let's get started. Before we dive into today's session on social emotional learning, I'd like to introduce myself and share a bit about my background. Like I said, my name is Dr. Nacy Ty Ryerson, and I'm thrilled to be your guide through this important topic. I personally hold an undergraduate degree in psychology, a master's in special education, and a doctorate in educational leadership with an emphasis in curriculum instruction. In August of 2020, I founded a school based on my research showing the high need for support for marginalized and underserved populations, especially during the challenging pandemic years. So our school now supports both public and private schools by providing training and staying attuned to our community's needs. We aim to be a case study that supports all educators and all students. I'm honored to be able to share my knowledge with you today, as I've been in many of your shoes, starting my career right out of college as a para, and then that following year going back to school to get my master's to teach a CSS classroom, which stands for Communication, Sensory, and Socialization Support. So I primarily serve students with identification of autism. I spent 8 years in the classroom, 7 of those as a CSS teacher. So achieving master level teacher status, I did have the privilege of teaching other teachers in our district, which I loved, and I'm happy to be able to be with you today doing the same thing. I do hold a K-12 lifetime mild to moderate cross categorical licensure in the state of Missouri. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm very well known as a very nerdy person. I'm constantly driven by a very analytical brain and a passion for research. So while I'm currently resisting the urge to pursue a law degree, I think much to the relief of everyone in my life after finishing my last dissertation, my decisions are always pretty informed by data and strengthened by building meaningful connections within our communities, but I'm definitely a nonfiction nerd. So I am also proud to be neurodivergent. It does give me a unique perspective on education and a deeper understanding of the students that I've championed over the years. I'm also honored to serve on the board of Champions Committed to Kids, which is an organization that supports children with disabilities by integrating them into sports teams. As a former college athlete, I do know the benefits of inclusion can play in sports and life. I've also been a former board member for Down Syndrome Group of the Ozarks as well, and enjoyed my time serving on their board. On a personal note, I have an amazing husband who is also an advocate for public education. He runs an alternative school in his respective district. In our free time, we love to read, we love to learn, spend time at the lake, or hiking with our family. We have beautiful scenery in the Ozarks, and it's always great to get outside. I also love to garden. Since the pandemic, I've gotten on a gardening streak, and now my backyard may or may not be turning into a food forest. So, and also when I say I love to read, we mean as you can see from the books behind us, which you cannot see even close to all of them, you can tell which ones are mine by their label of nonfiction, and you can tell which ones are my husband's, because they tend to be more fiction books. So my heart is with public educators and advocating for marginalized and underserved populations. I believe all learners deserve the highest quality education, and I'm committed to making that a reality. And finally, I believe our educators should be given the support and appreciation that they deserve. You all deserve, to be treated as the world changers that you are. Our communities are so blessed to have you and have you here learning about social emotional learning to bring this back to your community. So let's embark on this journey together and enhance our understanding. Next, we're going to talk a bit about our schedule and what to expect during this course. So we'll be diving into the following topics. What is social emotional learning, or SEL for short, which we've already learned? Why is SEL important? The science behind SEL, practical strategies in the classroom, real life examples such as a morning routine, incorporating SEL for students with disabilities, and measuring SEL success, challenges, and solutions. So I want to ensure that you have the science behind SEL and understand why it is important, as there is a lot of misinformation on what SEL is, what it should look like, and what it isn't, and what it shouldn't look like. I will also be breaking up some of the more complex topics with real-world examples so you can take away practical strategies as well as troubleshoot potential challenges and solutions. Continuing with our workshop schedule, we will be discussing building a school-wide SEL culture, real-life examples, incorporating play, research on SEL in the 21st century workforce, real-life examples of a future workforce and what that can look like, resources, a section to expand your knowledge with further reading, some of which will be required, some of which will just be optional, and you can choose to learn more and expand your knowledge. There will also be an assignments and quiz section, and of course, references. So you do have the flexibility to go through this course at your own comfortable pace, and I suggest you do so. So feel free to hit the pause, rewind, or revisit any sections as much as you need to truly grasp the material. So keeping notes during the course is highly recommended. It will not only help you retain the information better, but you'll also be well prepared for the open note quiz that comes at the end. Our goal is for you to walk away with a wealth of knowledge on social emotional learning and to become effective advocates for promoting SEL within your communities. By empowering yourself with this knowledge, you can positively impact those around you, making our community stronger and more connected. We firmly believe that when our communities thrive, we all benefit. So engage in this course, take diligent notes, and let's work together towards creating a better future for everyone involved. So what is social emotional learning? So according to CASEL, which is the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, also known as CASEL, 2024, they define social and emotional learning as an integral part of education and human development. SEL is the process through which all young people and adults acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage emotions, and achieve personal and collective goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain supportive relationships, and make responsible and caring decisions. When I think about CASEL, it is such a great resource. I definitely, we talked about earlier, like this is your journey. So this might be a time where you pause the video and kind of go scroll off and see what CASEL has to offer, or maybe just bookmark it. It is in the references at the end of the presentation, but I would be amiss if I didn't point out that this is such a great resource, one of the best, if not the best, to go find information and resources on SEL. So take some time to kind of peruse their website if you get a chance. We mentioned by their definition that it's not just for young people, it's for adults too. So it's not really a set target, social emotional learning. We are constantly getting better at it and improving, our emotional health. So a crucial aspect of teaching SEL is the acknowledgement that we as educators must also embody these principles in our own lives. By practicing what we're preaching, teachers really can serve as role models for their students. Um, I think it's really important that we demonstrate these values of emotional intelligence and action to our students. And through this personal commitment, educators, you really can authentically guide and inspire students as you're on your own social emotional journey. And I can attest to this with myself and my staff. And the work is worth it. And it does make a big difference when you are modeling those things to your students. It makes it easier for them, makes it easier for them to buy in, makes it easier for you to buy in when you see those positive results coming in your own life. And just as educators, sometimes we're so focused on, helping everyone else, which is, I love that about educators, but sometimes, just like in the airplane, we need to put our own life mask on first, and know that we need to support our own mental health and social emotional health, and that is okay too. So if you needed to hear that today, you are hearing it. If you're already on that journey, keep going on that journey. So, to continue on with what is social emotional learning, it really is, in my mind, the cornerstone of emotional intelligence. So, it's acting as the manual that guides the complexities of our emotional landscape that we have as individuals. And so, as described in the Collaborative for Academic Social Emotional Learning, also known as CASEL, and you probably won't hear me say that spelled out again, so I'll continue to say CASEL, but that is what I'm talking about. There are 5 fundamental components that form the bedrock of emotional well-being, which is the visual on the right side of your screen. So first you have self-awareness. This involves introspection and understanding our emotions and how they impact our thoughts and actions. It's like looking inwards and recognizing the various colors and shades of our emotional palette. It's looking internally. Self-management. As the next step, self-management focuses on the regulation of our emotions and behaviors across diverse situations. Social awareness. This component emphasizes the importance of understanding and empathizing with others, especially those with diverse backgrounds and perspectives. It's about extending our emotional radar to embrace the rich tapestry of the human experiences. Next is relationship skills. Building healthy and meaningful relationships is an art, and that requires practice and dedication. Cultivating these interpersonal skills enables us to connect authentically with others and foster a sense of belonging and community. And then finally, responsible decision making. Ethical decision making lies at the core of SEL, guiding individuals to make thoughtful and constructive choices that benefit both themselves and society at large. It's about weaving a moral compass into our daily actions, navigating the ethical complexities of the world around us. At our school, we talk a lot about cognitive dissonance and being honest with ourselves. And we talk to our kids about that. It's important to be honest with yourself and have integrity with yourself. And that really is a part of responsible decision making, because if you teach a student that, are you having integrity with yourself? And that is complicated, but it can be taught at a very early age, and it makes a really big difference. If you can be honest with yourself and with others, you're going to be probably a pretty healthy person. And sometimes as adults, we have to be honest with ourselves of what are we lying to ourselves about, and what do we need to have integrity with ourselves about. Usually, if you confront those issues, it can lead to a lot healthier, environments in future for you. It doesn't mean it's not hard, but it is, again, worth it. So I do want you to visualize these 5 components. They're all interconnected facets, much like the interconnected roots of a tree, essentially. So they're drawing strengths and sustenance from each other, and you really need to nurture each aspect of SEL. So as we cultivate a strong foundation for emotional intelligence, resilience, and personal growth, it's really empowering us to navigate life challenges with grace and with wisdom.